Hi, I'm Desi Carlos. I'm a dietitian with Tree of Life Nutrition. Our subject matter today is all about how to deal with thyroid concerns regarding nutrition. So it's very interesting. When we talk about thyroid conditions, we have an underactive thyroid and we have an overactive thyroid. So most of us have underactive thyroid, and with that comes an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's in some cases. So let's talk about the nutrients that actually influence the thyroid. So the first nutrient is selenium. Selenium is found in seafood, it's found in whole grain breads and cereals, and it's also found in Brazil nuts. Now, 4 to 5 Brazil nuts of an average size actually help us meet our selenium requirements for the day. If you're not interested in any of those food items, you can get a selenium supplement. 50 micrograms is the recommendation as a maximum level. So selenium is the first ingredient, supplement that's required, or nutrient, I should say, for the thyroid. The next nutrient that's super important for the thyroid is iodine, and iodine is found in seafood. It's also, of course, found in iodized salt. We don't really recommend salt as being an awesome iodine supplement, because salt can influence heart disease, and it can also influence arthritic pain. And fluid retention in women. So let's say no to that one. But seafood is a great option for iodine, and unless you are seriously deficient, you would not supplement iodine. And the other important nutrient is zinc. Now, zinc is super important for so many reasons. So it influences the thyroid, it also influences immunity, it helps with anxiety, and more importantly for us, it also helps with the lining of the gut and fixing the lining of the gut as well. So there's lots of other factors that zinc is required for, but they're the main things. Zinc is found in meat, predominantly chickpeas as well. With zinc though, if you're not really a meat eater and you don't like legumes that much, then supplementation is required. 30 milligrams of zinc is the recommendation. Generally, zinc can cause nausea, so it's really important to have it with a main meal. And then lastly, one of the most important nutrients is vitamin D. And vitamin D is especially associated with the autoimmune issue of thyroid disease, which is Hashimoto's. So vitamin D deficiency can actually exacerbate that if you've got a predisposition for thyroid concerns. So predisposition means that you've got family history or other autoimmune issues, and that's where Hashimoto's comes in. So when we're dealing with an inflammatory condition like Hashimoto's, basically that is going to be treated by fixing all the deficiencies, but also working out what foods are causing the inflammation as well. Now there are a lot of foods that could be causing the inflammatory responses, but that is something that we would do in consultation, working out what is actually causing your problems and how we can improve your thyroid antibodies, which we can do with nutrition. So oftentimes we're so consumed with the TSH levels, and we don't realize that nutrition can play an important role in reducing down those antibody numbers, which is what makes you feel inflamed and yuck and fatigued. So remembering that, what are the symptoms that are associated with low thyroid anyway? Hair loss, anxiety, tachycardia, which is the fast beating of the heart, changes in temperature. So all of those things can actually influence or be influenced by a thyroid condition. There are other, obviously, thyroid conditions like Graves', which is an autoimmune disease where you have a hyperthyroid, where your thyroid is working overtime. So that one is more medically based. There are nutritional aspects, especially deficiency states, that need to be fixed, but predominantly to be dealt with by an endocrinologist. So that is basically the crux of dealing with thyroid conditions. But it's very important to understand that inflammatory conditions like autoimmune thyroid conditions are actually again treated with an anti-inflammatory diet, and we know that anti-inflammatory diet is basically the Mediterranean diet. And so the Mediterranean diet, which we've talked about so many times, is one of the most improving factors in dealing with this condition. It's important to also understand that thyroid conditions can cause irritable bowel syndrome. So again, IBS can cause thyroid conditions because you get nutrients not being absorbed properly, so you can get deficiency states, which can exacerbate the thyroid conditions if you have a predisposition through family or other autoimmune issues. Or the thyroid itself can cause IBS symptoms. And remember that intestinal permeability, IBS, all of those symptoms need gut health protocol. So we need to actually fix the gut, decrease the inflammation in the body, and use the Mediterranean diet to fuel the gut microbiome, and also as an anti-inflammatory for the thyroid condition. So it's a wonderful web of nutritional support for thyroid disorders. Now, who would have ever thought that nutrition played such an important role? Come and see one of our dietitians. We're here to help you, and we are passionate about the Mediterranean diet and autoimmune disease. Looking forward to catching up with you soon.